name is Marina Ahmed, and I will be reciting To Autumn by John Keats. Seasons of mists and mellow fruitfulness, close bosom friend of the maturing sun, conspiring with him how to load and bless with fruit the vines that round the thatch eaves run, to bend with apples the mossed cottage trees, and fill all fruit with ripeness to the core, to swell the gourd and plump the hazel shells with a sweet kernel to set budding more, and still more, later flowers for the bees, until they think warm days will never cease, for summer has o'erbrimmed their clammy cells. Who hath not seen thee oft amid thy store? Sometimes whoever seeks abroad may find thee sitting careless on a granary floor, thy hair soft lifted by the winnowing wind, or on a half-reaped furrow, sound asleep, drowsed with the fume of poppies, while thy hook spares the next swath in all its twined flowers. And sometimes, like a gleaner, thou dost keep steady thy laden head across a brook, or by a cider press, with patient look. Thou watchest the last oozings hours by hours. Where are the songs of spring? Aye, where are they? Think not of them, thou hast thy music too, while barred clouds bloom the soft dying day, and touch the stubble plains with rosy hue. Then in a wailful choir the small gnats mourn among the river sallows, borne aloft or sinking as the light wind lives or dies. And full-grown lambs loud bleat from hilly bourne, hedge crickets sing, and now with treble soft the red breast whistles from a garden croft, and gathering swallows twitter in the skies.
Zachary Cole.
Today I will be reciting Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening by Robert Frost. Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village, though. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near, between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sounds the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. The woods are lovely, dark, and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. Crossing the Bar by Alfred Lord Tennyson. Sunset and evening star, and one clear call for me, and may there be no moaning of the bar when I put out to sea. Such a tide as moving seems asleep, too full for sound and foam, when that which drew from out the boundless deep turns again home. Twilight and evening bell, and after that the dark, and may there be no sadness of farewell when I embark. For though from out our bourne of time and place the flood may bear me far, I hope to see my pilot face to face when I have crossed the bar.
I'm Nikki Brown, and this is Psalms 91, a Psalm of David. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge, my fortress, my God. In Him will I trust. Surely He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler, and from the noise and pestilence. He shall cover thee with His feathers, and under His wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. Because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High thy habitation, there shall no evil befall thee, and neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. For he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. They shall bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. Thou shalt tread upon the lion and adder. The young lion and dragon shalt thou trample under feet. Because he has set his love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high, because he hath known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation.
My name is Landon Elliott, and today I will be reciting "O Captain, My Captain" by Walt Whitman. "O Captain, my Captain, our fearful trip is done. The ship has weathered every wreck. The prize we sought is won. The port is near, the bells I hear, the people all exulting, while follow eyes the steady keel, the vessel grim and daring. But oh, heart, 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 oh, the bleeding drops of red, where on the deck my captain lies, fallen, cold, and dead. Oh, Captain, my Captain, rise up and hear the bells. Rise up, for you the flag is flung, for you the bugle trills, for you bouquets and ribbon wreaths, for you the shores are crowding, for you they call the swaying masts, their eager faces turning. Here, Captain, dear father, this arm beneath your head, it is some dream that on the deck you've fallen cold and dead. My captain does not answer. His lips are pale and still. My father does not feel my arm. He has no pulse nor will. The ship has anchored, safe and sound, its voyage closed and done. While fearful trip, the victor ship, comes in with object won. Exult, O shores, and ring, O bells. But I, with mournful tread, walk the deck, my captain lies, fallen, cold, and dead.
Tasman Gupta.
Doing Beautiful Snow by John Whitaker Watson. Oh, the snow, the beautiful snow, filling the sky and the earth below, over the housetops, over the street, over the heads of the people you meet, dancing, flirting, skimming along. Beautiful snow, it can do nothing wrong, flying to kiss a fair lady's cheek, clinging to lips in a frolicsome freak. Beautiful snow from the heavens above, pure as an angel and fickle as love. Oh, the snow, the beautiful snow, how the flakes gather and laugh as they go. Whirling about in its maddening fun, it plays in its glee with everyone. Chasing, laughing, hurrying by, it lights up the face and it sparkles the eye. And even the dogs, with a bark and a bound, snap at the crystals that eddy around. The town is alive and its heart in a glow to welcome the coming of beautiful snow. How the wild crowd goes swaying along, hailing each other with humor and song. How the gay sledges like meteors flash by, bright for a moment, then lost to the eye. Ringing, swinging, dashing they go, over the crest of the beautiful snow. Snow so pure when it falls from the sky, to be trampled in mud by the crowd rushing by. To be trampled and tracked by the thousands of feet, till it blends with the horrible filth in the street. Once I was pure as the snows, but I fell
fell like the snowflakes from heaven to hell, fell to be tramped as the filth of the street, fell to be scoffed, to be spit on and beat. Pleading, cursing, dreading to die, selling my soul to whoever would buy, dealing in shame for a morsel of bread, hating the living and fearing the dead. Merciful God, have I fallen so low? And yet I was once like this beautiful snow. Once I was fair as the beautiful snow, with an eye like its crystals, a heart like its glow. Once I was loved for my innocent grace, flattered and sought for the charm of my face. Father, mother, sisters all, God and myself I have lost by my fall. The veriest wretch that goes shivering by will take a wide sweep lest I wander too nigh. For all that is on or about me, I know there is nothing that's pure but the beautiful snow. How strange it should be that this beautiful snow should fall on a sinner with nowhere to go. How strange it would be when the night comes again if the snow and the ice struck my desperate brain. Fainting, freezing, dying alone, too wicked for prayer, too weak for my moan, to be heard in the crash of the crazy town, gone mad in its joy at the snow's coming down, to lie and to die in my terrible woe with a bed and a shroud of the beautiful snow.
My name is Dora Hageman, and I will be reciting McCavity the Mystery Cat by T.S. Eliot. McCavity is a mystery cat, for he's called the Hidden Paw, for he's the master criminal who can defy the law, for he's the bafflement of Scotland Yard, the flying squad's despair, for when you reach the scene of crime, McCavity's not there. McCavity, McCavity, there's no one like McCavity. He's broken every human law, he breaks the law of gravity. His powers of levitation would make a fair stare, but when you reach the scene of crime, McCavity's not there. You may seek him in the basement, you may look up in the air, but I tell you once and once again, McCavity's not there. McCavity's a ginger cat, he's very tall and thin, for you would know him if you saw him, for his eyes are sunken in. His brow is deeply lined with thought, his head is highly domed, his coat is dusty from neglect, and his whiskers are uncombed. He sways his head from side to side with movements like a snake, and when you think he's half asleep, he's always wide awake. McCavity, McCavity, there's no one like McCavity, for he's a fiend in feline shape, a monster of depravity. You may meet him in the by-street, you may see him in the square, but when a crime's discovered, then McCavity's not there. He's outwardly respectable, they say he cheats at cards, and his footprints are not found in any file of Scotland Yard's. So when the larder's looted, or the jewel case is rifled, or the milk is missing, or another peak's been stifled, or the greenhouse glass is broken, or the trellis is past repair, aye, there's a wonder of things, McCavity's not there. When the Foreign Office finds a treaty gone astray, or the Admiralty loses plans and drawings on the way, there may be a slip of paper on in the hall or on the stair, but it's useless to investigate, for McCavity's not there. And when the loss has been disclosed, the Secret Service say it must have been McCavity, but he was a mile away. You'll sure to find him resting or licking his thumb, or engaged in doing complicated long division sums. McCavity, McCavity, there's no one like McCavity. There never was a cat of such deceitfulness and suaviality. He always has an alibi and one or two to spare. At whatever time the deed took place, McCavity wasn't there. They say that all the cats whose wicked deeds are widely known are, I might mention Mungo Jerry, I might mention Griddlebone, are nothing more than agents for the cat who all the time controls their operations, the Napoleon of crime.
My name is Natalie Jones, and I'll be reciting The Law of the Jungle by Rudyard Kipling. Now this is the law of the jungle, as old and as true as the sky, and the wolf that shall keep it may prosper, but the wolf that shall break it must die. As the creeper that girdles the tree trunk, the law runneth forward and back, For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. Wash daily from nose tip to tail tip. Drink deeply but never too deep. And remember the night is for hunting, and forget not the day is for sleep. The jackal may follow the tiger, but cub, when thy whiskers are grown, remember the wolf is a hunter. Go forth and get food of thine own. Keep peace with the lords of the jungle, the tiger, the panther, and bear, and trouble not hath he the silent, and mock not the boar in his lair. When pack meets with pack in the jungle, and neither will go from the trail, lie down till the leaders have spoken. It may be fair words shall prevail. When ye fight with the wolf of the pack, ye must fight him alone and afar, lest others take part in the quarrel, and the pack be diminished by war. The lair of the wolf is his refuge, and where he has made him his home, not even the head wolf may enter, not even the council may come. The lair of the wolf is his refuge, but where he has digged it to plain, the council shall send him a message, and so he shall change it again. If ye kill before midnight, be silent, and wake not the woods with your bay, lest ye frighten the deer from the crop, and your brothers go empty away. Ye may kill for yourselves and your mates, and your cubs as they need ye can, but kill not for pleasure of killing, and 7 times never kill man. If ye plunder his kill from a weaker, devour not all in thy pride. Pack right is the right of the meanest, so leave him the head and the hide. The kill of the pack is meat of the pack. Ye must eat where it lies, and no one may carry away of that meat to his lair, or he dies. The kill of the wolf is meat of the wolf. He may do what he will, but till he has given permission, the pack may not eat of that kill. Cub right is the right of the yearling. From all his pack he may claim, full gorge when the killer has eaten, and none may refuse him the same. Lair right is the right of the mother. From all her years she may claim, one haunch of each kill for her litter, and none may deny her the same. Cave right is the right of the father, to hunt by himself for his own. He is freed of all calls to the pack. He is judged by the council alone. Because of his age and his cunning, because of his gripe and his paw, and all that the law leaveth open, the word of your head wolf is law. Now these are the laws of the jungle, and many and mighty are they, but the head and the hoof of the law, and the hunch and the hump is obey.
My name is Amanda Lynn, and I will be reciting a fairy tale by Amy Lowell. On winter nights beside the nursery fire, we read the fairy tale, while glowing coals builded its pictures. There before our eyes, we saw the vaulted hall of Tracier stone rear itself. The distant ceiling hung with pendant stalactites like frozen vines. And all along the walls at intervals, called upwards into pillars, roses climbed and ramped and were confined, and clustered leaves divided where there appeared a laughing face. The foliage seemed to rustle in the wind, a silent murmur, carved in still gray stone. A high-pointed windows pierced the southern wall, whence proud escutcheons from prismatic fires stained the tessellated marble floor with pools of red and quivering green and blue. And in the shade beyond the further door, in sober squares of black and white were hid beneath a restless, shuffling, wide-eyed mob of lackeys and retainers come to view, the christening. A sudden blare of trumpets and a throng about the entrance parted as the guests filed singling in with rare and precious gifts. Our eager fancies noted all they brought, the glorious, unattainable delights. But always there's one unbidden guest, who cursed the child and lifted bitterness. The fire falls asunder, all is changed. I am no more a child, and what I see is not a fairy tale, but life, my life. The gifts are there, the many pleasant things, health, wealth, long settled friendships, when they who honors all who bears in the power of making words obedient. This is much, but overshadowing all is still the curse, that never shall I be fulfilled by love. Along the parching high road of the world, no other soul shall bear my company. Always shall I be teased with semblances, with cruel impostures, which I trust awhile then dash to pieces. As a careless boy flings a kaleidoscope, which shouting strews all the ground about with colored shards. So I behold my visions on the ground, no longer radiant, an ignoble heap of broken, dusty glass. And so, unlit even by hope or faith, My dragging steps force me forever through the passing days.
My name is Callie Miller, and I will be reciting The House with Nobody in It by Joyce Kilmer. Whenever I walk to Suffern along the Erie track, I go by a poor old farmhouse with its shingles broken and black. I suppose I've passed it 100 times, but I always stop for a minute and look at the house, the tragic house. The house with nobody in it. I never have seen a haunted house, and yet I hear there are such things, that they hold the talk of spirits, their mirth and sorrowings. I know this house isn't haunted, and I wish it were. I do. For it wouldn't be so lonely if it had a ghost or two. This house on the road to Suffern needs a dozen panes of glass. And somebody ought to weed the walk and take a scythe to the grass. It needs new paint and shingles, and the vines should be trimmed and tied. But what it needs, most of all, are some people living inside. If I had a lot of money and all my debts were paid, I'd put a gang of men to work with brush and saw and spade. I'd buy that place and fix it up the way it used to be. I'd find some people who wanted a home and give it to them free. Now a new house, standing empty, with staring window and door, looks idle, perhaps, and foolish, like a hat on its block in the store. But there is nothing mournful about it. It cannot be sad and lone, for the lack of something within it that it has never known. But a house has done what a house should do, a house that has sheltered life and put its loving wooden arms around a man and his wife. A house that has echoed a baby's laugh and held up his stumbling feet is the saddest sight when it's left alone that ever your eyes could meet. So whenever I go to Suffern along the Erie track, I never go by the empty house without stopping and looking back. Though it hurts me to see the crumbling roof and the shutters falling apart, for I can't help thinking that the poor old house is a house with a broken heart.
My name is Kalia Pitts, and I'll be reciting the poem If by Rudyard Kipling. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. If you can wait and not be tired by waiting or being lied about, don't deal in lies. Or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to, broken, and stoop and build 'em up with worn-out tools. If you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings and never breathe a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on.
If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings, nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but none too much, if you can feel the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and which is more, you'll be a man, my son.
My name is Luke Roberts, and I shall be reciting A Country Boy in Winter by Sarah Orne Jewett. The wind may blow the snow about, for all I care, says Jack, and I don't mind how cold it grows, for then the ice won't crack. Old folks may shiver all day long, but I shall never freeze. What cares a jolly boy like me for winter days like these? Far down the long snow-covered hills, it's such fun to coast. So clear the road, the fastest sled there is in school, I boast. The paint's pretty well worn off, but then I take the lead. A dandy sled's a loiterer, and I go in for speed. When I go home at supper time, kai, but my cheeks are red. They burn and sting like anything. I'm cross until I'm fed. You ought to see the biscuit go. I am so hungry then. And old Aunt Polly says that boys eat twice as much as men. There's always something I can do to pass the time away. The dark comes quick in winter time, a short and stormy day. And when I give my mind to it, it's just as Father says. I almost do a man's work now and help him many ways. I shall be glad when I grow up and get all through with school. I'll show them by and by that I was not meant for a fool. I'll take the crops off this old farm. I'll do the best I can. A jolly boy like me wants to be adult when he's a man. I like to hear the old horse neigh as I come in sight. The oxen poke me with their horns to get their hay at night. Somehow the creatures seem like friends and like to see me come. Some fellows talk about New York, but I shall stay at home.
I am Maisie Wakefield, and I will be reciting Birches by Robert Frost. When I see birches bend to left and right across the lines of straighter, darker trees, I like to think that some boy's been swinging them. But swinging doesn't bend them down to stay. Ice storms do that. Often, you must have seen them loaded with ice, a sunny winter morning after a rain. They click upon themselves as the breeze rises, and turn many-colored as the stir cracks and crazes their enamel. Soon the sun's warmth will make them shed crystal shells, shattering and avalanching onto the snow crust. Such heaps of broken glass to sweep away, you'd think the inner dome of heaven had fallen. They are dragged to the withered bracken by the load, though they seem not to break once they are bowed. So low for long, they never right themselves. You may see their trunks arcing in the woods, years afterwards, like girls on hands and knees, trailing their leaves on the ground, like girls on hands and knees, who throw their hair before them, over their heads, to dry in the sun. But I was going to say, when truth broke in with all her matter of fact about the ice storm, now am I free to be poetical? I should prefer to have some boy bend them, as he went out and in to fetch the cows. Some boy too far from town to learn baseball, whose only play was what he found in himself, summer or winter, and he could play alone. One by one, he subdued his father's trees by writing them down over and over again, until he took the stiffness out of them, and not one but hung limp, not one was left for him to conquer. I'd like to get away from earth a while, and then come back to it, and begin over. May no fate willfully misunderstand me, or half grant what I wish, and snatch me away, not to return. Earth's the right place for love. I don't know where it's likely to go better. I'd like to go by climbing a birch tree, and climb black branches up a snow-white trunk, toward heaven, till the tree could bear no more, but dipped its top and set me down again. That would be good, both going and coming back. One could do worse than be a swinger of birches.
I'm Ed Ward, and I'm doing A Frog's Fate by Christina Rossetti. Contemptuous of his home beyond the village and the village pond, a large old frog, who spurned each byway, hopped along the imperial highway. Nor grunting pig, nor barking dog could disconcert so great a frog. The morning dew was lingering yet, his sides too cool, his tongue too wet. The night dew, when the night should come, a traveled frog would send him home. Not so, alas. The wayside grass sees him no more. Not so, alas. A Broadway wagon, unawares, ran him down. His joys, his cares, from dying choke, one feeble croak, the frog's perpetual silence broke. Ye buoyant frogs, ye great and small, even I am mortal after all. My road to fame turns out a wry way. I perish on the hideous highway, oh, from my old familiar byway. The choking frog sobbed and was gone. The wagoner stood whistling on, unconscious to the carnage done. Whistling, that wagoner strode on. Whistling, it may have happened so, a froggy would a-wooing go. A hypothetic frog trolled he, obtuse to a reality. All rich and poor, all great and small, such oversights beset us all. The mangled frog abides in cog. This uninteresting actual frog. The hypothetic frog alone is the one frog we dwell upon.
Hi, my name is Eric Williams, and I'll be reciting The Jabberwocky by Lewis Carroll. 'Twas brillig, and the slithy doves did gyre and gimble in the wabe. All mimsy were the borogoves, and mome wrasse outgrabe. Beware the Jabberwock, my son, the jaws that bite, the claws that catch. Beware the Jubjub bird and shun, the frumious bandersnatch. He took his vorpal, sword in hand. Long time the maxome foe he sought. So rested he by the tumtum tree, and stood awhile in thought. And as in uffish thought he stood, the Jabberwock with eyes of flame came whiffling through the togy wood, and burbled as it came. 1, 2, 1, 2, and through the vorpal blade went snicker-snack. He left it dead, and with its head he went galumping back. And hast thou slain the Jabberwock? Come to my arms, my beamish boy. O Frabjous Callooh, Callay, he chortled in his joy. 'Twas brillig, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe. All mimsy were the borogoves, and mome wrasse outgrabe.
So as the judges finish, I just want to say, well done. Can you breathe now? Good. That was wonderful. I also just want to point out a few people who made this morning's event possible. Kathy McCoy, I'm sure most of you know, she's our administrative assistant at Caldwell Arts Council. This event's kind of her baby. She does a lot of the logistical legwork. And her daughter, Katie, is also here today. And this event really couldn't happen without the two of them. So I just want to give them a round of applause real quickly. And I also want to thank Kim McClure, who is actually, she's served on our board for so many years. She's a past president. We kind of keep her around. She's not a voting member anymore, but she still comes and is part of our board meetings and always comes to this event. And she's helped the judge today with all the data entry, and she is invaluable. And Andrew Massey, who's another board member, he's actually going to be setting up right this minute. He's a singer-songwriter. He's going to be performing for you guys during the reception. So we've got two wonderful board members. And I also want to say thank you to Dottie Darcy, one of our school board members in Caldwell County, for being here today. It's so sweet. It's very encouraging. Thank you. And then I want to give you guys a special big thank you to our educators and our families, because these young people wouldn't be here without your support and tremendous care. So thank you. Give yourselves a round of applause. Okay, so friends, now's the fun part. You get to go out there, eat some cookies, listen to some music. We will bring everyone back in when our judges are done deliberating and making sure that everybody hears the awards. We'll do some more photography at the end. So you guys have fun out there. It'll take us about 30 minutes maybe. Thank you. All right, friends, thanks for being so patient. Our judges really care, so we took our time. There are 14 participants today. Half of you guys are going to walk home with cash. So if you are in 7th or 6th grade, come back next year. And if you're in 8th grade going into high school, be a part of Shakespeare next year. So this is not your last time, regardless of how old you are, okay? So without further ado, what I'm going to do, we've got 6 places and 1 merit. And I'm going to start with a merit and go from 6 all the way to the top to the first, okay? And what I'll have you do is come up when I read your name and come and stand. And then just keep standing behind me, if that's okay, once I give you your envelope. And then we'll have like group shots and, you know, first place, that kind of stuff, if that's okay. So thank you for being patient. We'll just need a few more minutes of your time as we do that and take some pictures for the paper. All right, you guys ready? Am I just making you too nervous? And just keep talking? All right. Anxious, I know, right? Hey, before I give these out, I just want to say personally, I'm so impressed. The judges were incredibly impressed by all of you guys. I know, I'm just doing it on purpose, so you'll just sit there sweating. All right, the Merit Award goes to Maisie Wakefield. And then 6th place goes to Luke Roberts. Fifth place goes to Amanda Lynn. Fourth place, Landon Elliott. Third place, Eric Williams. Second place, Callie Miller. And first place, Marine Ahmed. I love that reaction. That was amazing. Congratulations. Thank you. Okay, the other 7 of you, fantastic. Let's give them a round of applause too. Incredible work. Thank you guys for being here. We really appreciate it.
For the past few years, a person who wishes to remain anonymous has funded the poetry and Shakespeare projects out of his own pocket. He has not pleaded for donations, but I will. Please send your tax-deductible donation to Caldwell Arts Council, Poetry and Shakespeare Projects, Post Office Box 1613, Lenoir, North Carolina 28645. Thank you. Thanks to local talented musician Gregory Knight for the use of his music in this video.